Hello, everyone. It's August 5th, 2020. I'm Matt Wright, and this is St. Mark's at Midweek. Today, we visit with St. Mark's newest staff member, Michael Mischler, who is our new Director of Christian Formation, a term that sounds a little mysterious, but Mike will explain it all for us. Mike received his master's in Divinity from the Claremont School of Theology, Bloy House, and we are glad that he's chosen to join us at St. Mark's. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Matt.
You are our newest staff member at St. Mark's. Tell me a little bit about what you're here to do and what you're looking forward to.
Sure. So, as the Director of Christian Formation, I'm mostly looking at what we do as a church, what we do together, what programs we offer, and how we can bring those programs together towards specific goals, what we're missing out on, who we're missing when we offer programs, and how to bring more people in to the church in ways that happen outside of just Sunday morning.
Okay. And has formation work changed quite a bit? I imagine it has. Has it changed quite a bit in the last 2 decades or so?
I guess so. I think a lot of things with the church, we move away from one paradigm and try out something new, and then we go, oh, well, this other thing worked, whether it's 50 years or a couple hundred years ago, and then we reclaim that and bring it up to a modern, paradigm and move forward with that, and then kind of moves all over the place. I think we're constantly in a place of shifting from one path to another.
What do you think brings people to a place like St. Mark's? What is it that is exciting or involving about St. Mark's to somebody who isn't already invested in the parish?
I think one of the things that St. Mark's actually does really well is offer a lot of different programming. And we offer things that maybe other churches are unwilling to try. And I think that's maybe one of St. Mark's strongest suits, is that if somebody has an idea or somebody has something that they want to offer, then the church supports them in that. And so I think the ability for people to get involved, not just in a sit back and watch sort of way, but in an active sharing of their gifts, is, I think, part of what makes any church work. And specifically at St. Mark's, all the different expertises that people bring to the table makes us extremely unique.
What brought you to ministry originally? How is it that you find yourself here?
I think for me, there was a time in my life when I had been laid off and I had very little to do, and I wasn't able to find a job anywhere. So I had an opportunity to see what things I did when I had nothing to do. And one of those main things was religious and spiritual work. And so I just kept following that natural propensity. And so it made it easy for me to figure out that was what I was passionate about.
Did you grow up in the church, or did you come to the church later in your life?
I didn't start going to church until I was about 10.
Okay.
And then I went away for a while when I went to college, and then I came back again about the time that I was out of work.
How has the calling changed in the midst of this pandemic? Everything is kind of upended, I imagine, and the way you might have approached formation, I'm guessing it must have changed, since the default option of everybody showing up at church is not available to you right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think, there's a certain level of Zoom fatigue,
Yeah.
which it seems like a lot of people are experiencing, which again limits the ways in which we can interact as a congregation or as a church community.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think a lot of what I've been looking towards is ways to bring the church into the home that aren't necessarily people sitting in front of a webcam and having yet another meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of spurred me on with a lot of my thinking about formation in general, in the sense that whether we're in this time of pandemic or whether we're clear to be back together again, being able to offer formation programs that appeal to different generations that are within the same household, but are still centered around the same subject, provide for a greater opportunity for families and people who are living together to continue conversations, continue thinking together outside of church. And I think that's one of the big things that I'm hoping to do, that I think the coronavirus has pushed us in that direction, but just to ensure that people are still, I guess, thinking about church, thinking about God, and thinking about Jesus when they're not simply in the building.
Right now, so many families are at sea with school and with activities and with summer not being what it used to be and nothing being what it used to be. And I know you have a young family yourself. How are you guys managing through all of this? And what have been the challenges and what have been the joys of this unusual period in all of our lives for your family?
Sure. It's been a kind of a roller coaster, and we've been very fortunate that both our children have had opportunities over the course of the summer to go to things like camps, where they've either been outside or doing stuff inside for an extended period of time with other kids, which is a really big thing, of offering them opportunities to be with people their own age for a little while. And then they come home and they have a week off or 2 weeks off, and then it's trying to provide the same level of experiences and newness that a camp provides while they're stuck inside the house. And so there's been a lot of us having to come up with fun activities to do together, and things not just to keep them busy, but to keep them, I guess, on track for whenever school starts, however school starts. And so that's been a nice opportunity to both think of new and fun things to do together, and also just to be together, which doesn't happen as much when schedules are so full during normal times.
Yeah. What would you say to a family that's where you're a parent and you're just like, okay, how do I do this one more week? How do I keep these balls up in the air? You got any words of counsel?
I think getting outside however you can, if you have a backyard. I think, one of the things that we forget right now is that parks are open. The play structure is not open, but the parks are open. And kids are actually pretty good at social distancing from each other. And sometimes just picking maybe another family who has kids that your kids are friends with or you're friends with, and being able to, I guess, kibitz together and talk about some of your shared frustrations is a great way to spend an afternoon. And it helps to normalize some of the frustrations that you may be feeling. And then also, I think now's the time to pull out something that you haven't done or you haven't done in a while together. Now's the time to, learn how to cook together. Now's the time to learn how to ride a bike if your kids aren't riding bikes. And all those things that you maybe have put off because, well, they have school and then they have swimming and then they have art class and then they come home and they eat dinner and then they go to bed. And now's anything that you've been saving, now's the time to do it.
Good. Well, Mike Mischler, thank you for joining us on the podcast this week. This has been fun chatting. I'm looking forward to what's to come, and hopefully we'll all be back together and we'll be able to see each other than Zoom before too long.
Thank you, man.
That's it for this edition of St. Mark's at Midweek. Thanks to our associate producers Emily Wright and Lucy Grindon. Another update from St. Mark's next Wednesday and our regular worship podcast on Sunday. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and be good to each other. And happy birthday to my mother-in-law, the best mother-in-law anyone could have. Nancy Carney is 90 years old today. I'm Matt Wright.